If you're thinking about moving into Plano, Texas, stay tuned because I'm going to be going over some of the pros and cons of living in Plano, Texas. What is going on, y'all? My name is Alex. I am your local DFW real estate agent. Like I mentioned, this video is all about Plano, Texas, right? Plano is just a super popular city that's located about 20 to 30 minutes away from downtown Dallas. And of course, this can vary depending on where exactly you're located. You also want to consider traffic. Plano is just really close to downtown. You're also not too far from Frisco or the DFW airport. It has a pretty big population of about 288,000. I mean, it's just a really popular city in general, hence the growth of population. Now, by going over the pros and cons of living in Plano, Texas, hopefully you can get some insight and just have a better understanding as to whether Plano is a good fit for you. So pro number one is job opportunities. Plano is home to many leading global corporations, including a ton of Fortune 1000 companies, and it's also home to more than 10,000 businesses. These businesses provide thousands of jobs throughout Plano, which makes it a great place to live in, especially if you're seeking employment. According to the Plano Chamber of Commerce, the city of Plano is just an excellent place for businesses to grow and thrive. And the proof is really just in the numerous corporations with their headquarters here in Plano. For example, we have JCPenney, Alliance Data Systems, Rent-A-Center, Toyota North America, and just many, many more. Some of the leading industries in Plano include trade, business, education, manufacturing, and the average salary in Plano is about $86,000. So all this just goes to show that Plano definitely has a really bright future, especially when it comes to the economy. Now, pro number two, education. Plano has a highly regarded school district with many top-rated schools in the area. According to niche.com, it has a school district rating of an A+, and it is also really, really close to several colleges and universities around the area. For example, you have Collin College, the University of Texas at Dallas, the University of Dallas, and many, many more. So if schooling and education is really important to you, Plano is definitely a good fit. Now, pro number three, parks and recreation. So Plano has many different parks, about 80 parks, I believe, and different recreational facilities. It also has a ton of community centers and different gyms as well. So it just makes it really, really easy to stay active. There are more than 15 gyms in the city of Plano, with some of the top gyms being Harder Strength and Conditioning and Equinox Plano. So if you're like me and love going to the gym and staying active, Plano definitely has you covered. Pro number four, shopping, right? If you're an avid shopper, there's no need to fear. There are plenty of options for you. You have some great shopping centers, such as the shops at Legacy West. You also have Preston Park Village, Preston Village, and a lot of other stores that I could name. But honestly, this section would probably fill up the rest of my time. And if you're more of a thrifter, Plano definitely has you covered. It has a ton of different upscale thrift stores with more designer brands. And then you also have your more affordable options. Pro number five are restaurants. There is such a rich diversity in different cultures just throughout all of Dallas and the surrounding areas. And we can see it just in the vast amount of restaurants. So this is definitely including Plano, Texas. You have just a ton of different restaurants from different cultures, and some of the top restaurants that you can find in Plano, Texas are restaurants such as Capitol Grill, which is an American steakhouse, which is a little more on the high end. You also have Urban Crust, which is an Italian restaurant, which is not necessarily on the high end, but it's also not the most affordable restaurant. Think a little more casual. And then you have some smaller restaurants such as El Pueblito, which is a Mexican restaurant. Some of your pros are restaurants, shopping centers, parks and recreation, education, job opportunities. You could also even include the weather. Just like in my pros and cons video for living in Dallas, the weather could be a pro and a con. You know, we do get plenty of sunny days, but then we also occasionally get some pretty extreme weather days, such as just the extreme heat, or also sometimes when we do get a little bit of freezing. So speaking of the cons, let's get straight into it, right? So con number one would be the cost of living. So Plano, Texas is considered a relatively expensive place to live in. It does have higher housing costs and taxes compared to other cities surrounding Dallas. The median price of rent is about $2,500. And as of last month, the median sales price of houses in Plano was about $530,000. So yeah, $530,000 compared to $436,000, which was the median sales price for homes throughout the whole nation. Kind of a big difference. Now, don't get me wrong, you could still find some relatively affordable homes, right? I mean, what's affordable nowadays? But somewhat affordable homes here in the city of Plano. So not all hope is lost. So con number 2 is traffic. Like many cities in the area, Plano can experience some seriously heavy traffic, especially during the peak hours. So I'd say from about 8 to 10 a.m. and from about as early as 4 to about 7 p.m. And this can make commuting just a little bit challenging and stressful, especially if you hate traffic, if you absolutely hate traffic, and if you're commuting from downtown Dallas. And this can all make what's supposed to be a 20-minute drive a 45-minute drive. So definitely a con for, I'm assuming, most people. Now, con number 3 would be the weather. I did mention the weather a little bit ago, and in Plano, it can be hot and humid, especially in the summer. Right now it's May, and it just rained about 2 days ago, and it's just really hot here in the whole Dallas area, which includes Plano. Winters are a bit mild, but there can be some icing, especially during January and February. Now, con number 4, limited public transportation. This is honestly an issue that we face throughout all of Dallas. You know, most residents here in the area rely on their own vehicles unless you're using apps like Uber or Lyft, but other than that, you're pretty much stuck on your own. You know, we do have DART, but it's not accessible throughout the whole city and surrounding areas. So my 5th con would be the lack of nightlife. Now, the 5th con isn't necessarily applicable if you don't really care about a nightlife. You know, there aren't really many nightlife activities, but I did want to include this just in case. So there you have it. That is my list for the pros and cons of living in the very popular Plano, Texas. Plano definitely has much to offer. I personally feel as though the pros outweigh most of the cons. You know, you have a high quality of life, great job opportunities, highly rated school district. However, it's still important to take note of potential drawbacks. So hopefully this video was really helpful to you. If so, feel free to leave me a thumbs up. And as always, if there is anything in the world that I can do to help you out, for example, if you're thinking about moving into the Dallas area, I am more than happy to help out. So feel free to reach out. And feel free to check out my other video where I did a list of some of the top cities to consider living in here in the Dallas area. So thank you so much for watching. Till next time.